everyone, this is Ben Ray from iForm Builder. We've been getting a lot of requests lately to see how to configure the iForm Builder URL scheme with Esri's ArcGIS applications. So what I have here is actually a form, a fire hydrant inspection, and if I actually open up this form, you'll see I have a few fields here to perform an inspection on a specific fire hydrant. So we're going to put ourselves in the scenario that we're in Los Angeles and there's many fire hydrants throughout here. So I'm going to open up Esri's collector application, and I'm going to be able to see many different points on here. Now what I've done is I've actually configured a custom pop-up, and inside that custom pop-up is a URL. So on the right hand side you'll see I have the fire hydrant ID, the size code, these sorts of details, and I'll go into that in just a minute, how to configure that. And then I have actually a URL here. If I tap on this URL, it's a URL scheme that's going to call the iForm Builder application and create a brand new form and pass across some data to relate it to that specific fire hydrant in Los Angeles. So if I hit open, it's actually going to call the iForm app, create a brand new record here, and we'll see we pass some data across to the object ID, longitude, latitude, hydrant IDs, and different details. So I'm going to go through and fill out this form. Name the inspector's Ben. I'm going to take a photo of this specific fire hydrant, take a picture with the camera. Here's what we have outside. Then I'm going to go in, are there any infractions? If so, then I'm going to enter one-to-many infractions about this specific hydrant, right? So the type of infraction is it's broken. I can take a photo of that. I can say high, medium, or low severity. If it's a high severity, it's going to ask me to contact the supervisor. Select done. That's one infraction. Now if I want to go right back in and take a second infraction, I can certainly do that. Go in, enter the infraction details. It's jammed. I'm going to take a photo of the infraction again. So here's a photo. Okay, here's our infraction, and this is our new annotation widget. So if I take a photo of something, use that photo, then I'm going to use as a background image, I can actually annotate directly on top of that. Right, so there's an issue here with this. This is broken. Hit done. It's going to save that as an image. So there's two infractions I've captured about this. Now, did this hydrant pass or fail the inspection? I'm going to say it failed because it had a broken and a jammed piece on it. Then I'll go in and I'll just sign off quickly on the inspection and hit submit. Now in this scenario, what it's doing is it's syncing up to iFormBuilder.com, and what we have here is the ability to start from a map in Esri's collector application or any of their mobile apps, and then call the iForm Builder application to capture the data upon that. So if I go back into here, I can certainly perform that again. So now I'm going to hop into the form side as well as how to configure this custom pop-up. So I'll actually first start on ArcGIS. So this is the fire hydrant reference map, and I found this as a public layer on ArcGIS Online. Now what I can do here is tap this arrow and hit configure pop-up. Now I'm configuring a pop-up for this specific layer, so when I tap on any of these points, that pop-up will appear. So I want to choose a custom attribute display, select configure, and here I'm actually just going to have a few fields here. So I have like FID, fire hydrant ID, and I'm pulling all that from in here. So I can take FID, then fire hydrant ID, size code, just a few high-level details about this fire hydrant so I can identify it in some way. Now where the magic happens is actually inside of this here URL. So I'm just going to copy this into just a text editor quickly to show how I configured this. Alright, let's make it a tad larger. So what I have here is I have iForm : // If you do have a white label, this will be different, and you can email our support to get that URL. And then you put a question mark and then page, capital I, lowercase d, equals the page ID. So this page ID is going to come directly from iForm Builder. So I'm going to go into here, look at the data tab quickly, and I'm just going to grab the page ID of this. So GIS fire hydrant inspection 3355403. So let me just go back here to the text edit document, and I see I have 3355403. And the action can be either a new or an edit. In this scenario, the action is going to be a new record. I'm going to be passing the object ID across. This is a field in our form, and we're going to call it the feature ID. I'm also going to pass across the latitude, and I'm also going to pass across the longitude. Now in order to pass across the latitude and longitude, we need to ensure that in our form we have the Esri widget available. So the Esri widget can hold an object ID, a feature ID, a global ID, and longitude and latitude. So let me just open up this form here quickly. Okay, so GIS fire hydrant inspection. So you'll see I do have a GIS widget here. We call it of type Esri. Now just go back here quickly. Now, after we pass the longitude, latitude, and object ID across, we may want to pass some other fields here. So I'm just passing a hydrant identifier and a hydrant type across. Now these are just the datacom names in iForm Builder. So I go back to here, I see I have a hydrant ID, datacom name, and a hydrant type. If I wanted to pass the name of an inspector, I could do that as well if that is contained in the attribute table in ArcGIS. So once I pass those details across, I apologize, make code I passed across, so that is everything there. So I actually just paste this URL directly into ArcGIS here and make this and name this whatever you want. So you can call it conduct inspection, open iForm, whatever you choose. And once the link is created, then you can just set that and select OK. Now once you save the pop-up, this is going to be ready to go on your map. So you make sure you do have to have a specific map that goes along with this. Now once that's set up, then all the data is just going to land directly in iForm Builder, but if you choose, you can have the data go back up to ArcGIS Online as well using some of our ArcGIS Online connector. So I can go into that here in a different video, but just kind of wanted to show this at a high level how to configure this using our custom URL scheme. Again, this is only available for iOS. Android is something that will be coming just because of the way that they're using their schemes. So I hope this was helpful, and feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. Thanks.